Hello, everybody.
Hello. Good afternoon. And welcome everyone to the Asia workshop. Hi. On the augmented reality and virtual reality applied in the apps. Before passing the stage to our speakers, I would like to express my appreciation to your support on behalf of WTIA, the organizer of Asia Smart Lab Awards 2021. We are particularly thankful to be continuously supported by Create Hong Kong as well. Let me introduce our speakers today. We have Mr. Stephen Cheng, Senior Interactive Project Manager of Visionaries 777, which was the Grand Award winner of the ASA 2020. Ms. Yuan, co-founder of Hiverlab from Singapore, which was also the Silver Award winner of ASA 2018 and 19. Mr. Daniel Chung, Vice President of Marketing, Consumer Mobile of CSL, and Mrs. Amy Leung, Senior Director of Corporate Development of NetDragon Websoft. After all the sharing, we'll have the panel discussion with 4 speakers mentioned to be our panelists to share their expertise on topic memorable user experience, AR/VR in the app, moderated by Ms. Ivy Shum, President of Hong Kong Association of VR AR. Hello. Before starting our workshop, I would like to invite all speakers and moderator to have a group photo together. So, Yuan Yi, is Yuan Yi here?
Yep, switching on the camera now.
Yep. So, please look at the camera. Ready? 3, 2, 1, smile. Should be okay. Yep, great. All right, so it's time to pass the time to our first speaker, Stephen of Visionaries 777. Speaking of augment business space with information.
Hello, guys, everyone. Is my mic working? Can anyone tell me if my mic is working correct?
Yep.
All right, thank you. So hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us, being with us today. So my name is Stephen Zhang. I personally have been working with AR technology since 2012. And by the time I've been building AR apps for the art and publication industry in the UK. And then for the past 3 years, I've been working with Visionaries at 777 in Hong Kong to design and manage a team of developers to work on different kind of AR, VR, and NR project that is more related to the business enterprise industry. So, oh, sorry, I forgot to share my screen. Oh my goodness, hold on a second, guys. Okay, I would assume everyone can see my screen. Yep. And then can anyone confirm that? Okay, cool. So sorry for that. All right. So Visionaries 777 is a technology R&D partner. So basically we work with business to do research and development to explore new ideas with latest technology. And it is a company based in Hong Kong. We have been really fortunate enough to partner with many top tier global businesses such as Snapchat, Richmond Group, Lego Group, and so on. And we are a team of 20 people located between Berlin, Tokyo, Hong Kong, and Mexico. So as you can see, we've also been working with many original equipment manufacturers, suppliers, automotive brands around the world. So I think one of the strengths that that the company and me personally have is we work really close with the development of AR and VR technologies for the past 10 years, more than 10 years. So we have a really deep understanding in the tech and the principle itself. So especially the experience, that we work with different businesses throughout the time, it taught us a great deal in terms of what works and what doesn't work. And because of this, we have been developing a lot of AR visualizer and configurator for training and marketing purpose. So such as those are those applications that you would easily see on the market, like a marketing campaign where you got an AR app, you overlay digital content on top of an object, explaining how my products work. Maybe there's some sort of effect popping out from a car, from a vehicle. Try to help to drive user engagement, sales, and also training purpose. So such as this visual case study. And let me see if I can play the video. So I will assume everyone can see the video. So you see how we visualize the maintenance step of this factory machine. So the employee, they would see such as live IoT information. You can see this how the machine work, the moving direction, the repairing instruction, and maybe some kind of safety information. So now when we deliver the app to the employee, they can work independently. All they need to do is using the iPad, point it to the device, and they know everything they need to know when they try to operate this machine. And we also apply the same concept in the quality control process with this vehicle manufacturer, which is Polaris, to assist workers, during the Q&A process. Sorry, the QA process. So now you see how we put side-by-side references. Like we're asking the employees standing right next to the vehicle, and then we put a picture next to it to tell them, please confirm this installation is correct, exactly like how it's being shown in the photo. So again, it speed up the performance. It train new employee, so they don't need too much of a one-to-one guidance. All they have to do, again, give them a device, and then you will see the reduce in operation errors, and it save costs in training again. But then we all know that we want an experience that is relevant to the physical world. Like from the example that I talk about, every time you need a physical checkers, right? You need a marker for the AR to work. You need image patterns. You need an object, like car, a product, in front of the user. So the software can respond, with the right kind of AR experience and content, right? But then actually you will see the experience, the project that we did in the past, it has been limited by the physical medium. Like, so we want to ask a question, for the past 3 years, how can we go beyond this physical limit? Limit being by the physical medium, limit by the marker. You need a marker for something to work. You need an object for something to work. How can we develop an AR or mixed reality solution that could, first of all, is solve a real business problem, and most of all, we want to work on a scalable solution. I think everyone know everyone wants scalable solution, right? In the market, we want more than just a marketing campaign. Like I said, why doing a solution? First of all, we see trends, where enterprise customer, they are adopting more solutions to solve the business challenges, especially since the pandemic situation. So instead of in the past, they are happy with a one-off marketing campaign. They put up a budget, we develop one app, deliver, and everyone is happy, which is in the past. But now we see more and more businesses, they want solutions. They want an application that will become their day-to-day operation software, recurrently, and provide something that is measurable, like a measurable benefits to them. And so we began to work on a solution. And the first thing you need to develop a solution is you need to define what problem do you solve, what challenges that you want to solve for a customer. So when I work on this, we see businesses are actually facing some common challenges. For example, manufacturing industry, they have been looking for ways to save operation costs. From downtime, from maintenance, from recurrent inspection. In retail franchise, they all see increases in staff turnover, especially during the pandemic. People get sick, they need to go back to home, they cannot work, and then they need to hire a new worker and so on. And we also see demand for strategy to manage business operation remotely, again, because of the pandemic. So we set up an objective, we define what we are going to do. We want to bridge some common enterprise matrix with AR and MR technology. Those matrices, including something like OED, which is overall equipment effectiveness, MTBF or MTTR, which is mean time to recovery. I mean, those are some common standard terms that to measure manufacturing productivity that you can find between business. Between different factories, they all have some sort of similar matrix to measure how effective their operation is. So in 2018 and 19, we developed the world's first AR software for preventive maintenance operation, which is the ARPM, the award-winning app, where we pin paper checklists in real-world space. So you see we have checklists with inspection routines, navigation information, all being pinned within a commercial space. And you see how it works. You have to scan the QR marker, and then you begin seeing the information right in front of you. You don't need to ask, you didn't look for information anymore. It changes how people look at enterprise management solution forever. I mean, every time we show this to a new customer, they're just being blown away, like how we approach this. But then we face one of the biggest challenges in this technology. Again, what is the AR trigger? Like you see, like even in this example, we continue to work with other businesses, such as in this case, we work with Lenovo on their latest MR devices. We want to research and develop a demo. First of all, to further explore our idea, such as how we can develop something in the MR solution for warehouse. But then I think I could play a video to see how it works. So you see how people put up the devices in front of a warehouse, like a sorting department. They need to sort the product in parts. You see visual information to tell the worker where to pick up and where to go. You need to put on the left tray, one for each, and then move on to the next task. You press on the next button, and they will tell the user, place the 4 pieces here, right? And then again, put onto the right tray. So this is some sort of standard sorting information in certain kind of manufacturing business or warehouse. But they still face the same problem. It requires a QR marker precisely installed on the desk for the device to recognize the setup. So again, it's still being limited by the marker. Like without the marker in the proper position, it won't work. So then in late 2020, we began to see the development of digital twin. So we want to see, can we combine the digital twin concept with AR technology? We first capture the 3D information of an entire building, of an entire factory, entire workshop. We capture the data, and then we leverage the point cloud data as a trackable object itself. So we use that data as an AR tracker. So once we apply like a 3D coordinate system as the foundation of all the data, you can see now we can begin to put IoT navigation path and all the user interface checkpoint. We can now visualize it with AR, and they're relevant to the real world space. So in one world, we are using the world as a trigger itself for the AR technology to operate. So for example, and then the result, we work with Mandarin Oriental Hong Kong, with Microsoft HoloLens too. So now, first of all, you can imagine it is unthinkable to put on any QR marker in this schedule. It is impossible, like put on in such a high 5-star luxury hotel, you put a QR marker there, it is unthinkable. But now we are using point cloud data. We scan the entire guest room. And once you put on the device recognizes the room, and then it starts showing the right information in 3D space. And the result is an experience like you can directly interact with those checklist data. So this application is for the worker. When they clean the room, they need to make sure the room has been reset every time the guest is checked out. And then it is also very important to make the apps intuitive, so people will love it. You can see how the whole experience after we adopt the digital Shum concept. All you need to do is to point the camera and the AI will start working in less than a second. And all the information is already right there. So now we can put checklists, inspection checklists, and all the cloud information, IoT data, they are now in virtual space. And also we put on some work instruction. We circle out the area for the user to focus on. And then we put instruction here, like I'll please open this cupboard here, and then move on to the next task. So when you design AI software, we always try to work with next to the inspector. We hand the device to the worker and then see how they use the software, because we always want to deliver something that actually help them instead of something that slow them down. And as we mentioned at the beginning, we want to deliver develop a scalable solution with AR tech. So, and then I think we are again really lucky. We start seeing LiDAR scanner on every iPhone, iOS Pro devices. So now we can actually bring like a 3D environment scanner on everyone's hand. So with this capability, now the user can freely extend the AR experience by simply launching our app and scan the entire physical site at any moment. And once you have scanned it, you can begin tagging like a new asset, pinning new information. All can be done on one app independently, without our help, without our support. So now, as you can see, how we eliminate the medium. As we mentioned before, the AI experience, we are being limited by the checker, by the marker. Now we don't need any of that. All you need to just point the camera and it's right there. There's no more limit here, and you can always extend the experience. And we also have a powerful backend to manage all the cloud data. So the result is a magical AR software, that transform your commercial space as like a giant data hub. So now at these spaces, you can simply put information right there. And then tag it on the right item with the real world. So your world is now, first of all, the world is exclusive to your world space. So you can only access the information when you're there. And this again help the remote management strategy, which I'm going to talk about in a second. Work performance can also be captured because now we can capture much more precise information, how your worker move around your workspace, such as how much time did they spend to travel between buildings to complete something, any task that you assign. You have a much precise information on work performance. We have some case studies that I can share with our audience today. So first of all, this is a manufacturing factory in South America and China. So before the digitalization, the manager of the preventive maintenance department, they had difficulty to keep track of the team's inspection process because all those records are using paper checklists. Imagine every time you submit a report, you need to fill a paper form, hand it back to the office, and then the office, they might keep the record, they might using the Excel, we capture all the data, digitalize the data and save it in the computer. Again, those information, those error, I think they receive over 50 issues every day, and easily, some of them will be missed. But now, and they realize this is actually costing them money because they can no longer deliver, the product on time because of downtime. So then once we understand the challenges, we approach the business. Again, we know the problem is on the paper checklist. So first of all, we digitalize the inspection checklist, and then we start using QR marker and AR technology. So the thing that you see, with AR spaces, but then we also put on a QR marker as a backup solution. We tag all the assets with those information. And now once you hand your worker with the device, they simply need to scan the QR code or using the AR feature. And those inspection checklists is already right, next to a car, next to a door, next to a machine, and they could start filling in and combine with our cloud portal, online portal, where the manager can easily oversee all the submitted report. The result is no more data are missing. And those records are now actually come with photo record. So it helped during the communication process. And the result is after 1 year, they achieved over 96 to 100% key equipment availability, which means no more downtime. Whenever there's an error being reported, someone has been followed up, someone has been repairing them. It saved them money, and they're really happy about, our solution that we deliver to them that actually solve the real business problem. And the second case study that I could share with everyone today, this is like a global franchise fast food restaurant in Mexico. Since the pandemic, they are actually seeing over 10% staff turnover every month between 800 locations across the countries in Mexico. And the problem is every time you have someone new coming in, you need to train them again. And it actually costs them time, resources, and money. But beyond that, there's also a challenge to ensure like a consistent food handling process. They share a story with us that there's a guidance that required the worker to replace the coffee in a coffee machine every 45 minutes, but they later realized that they never replaced the coffee. And the coffee machine is broken because of that, and it costs them the money to replace the new one. And those equipment that are not being maintained properly, again, cost them money. You can see those are the paper checklists that they've been using for so many years. But then again, the same problem. It's not intuitive for everyone to spot any problem here. Even though I couldn't tell what is right, what is wrong here, right? Where are the issues? So again, once we understand the issue, we understand, first of all, they want to resolve the challenge on the training process. So we bring the whole training process into our AR solution. And we set up multiple checkpoints across different stores. We ask the manager to scan the shop by themselves, pin the area, the machine that they want the new junior to do to repeatedly practice during the process. So they pin with the refrigerator, the cooker, and so on. And then we put information, what they need to do. We attach a training video next to it. So for the first few weeks, all they need to do is hand them a phone, and they could train themselves. They go themselves, go to the fish, follow instructions, submit the instructions, take a picture to prove we are actually working on it, and then you submit the record. So, and then secondly, we set up a scheduling checker. So those apps, they actually send notification to the worker. Oh, please replace the coffee in the machine every 45 minutes. There's still a notice. And if they didn't do it, those records will be sent to the headquarters, the management office. They can easily just log in on the portal online and see all the records, what has been done, what has not been done. And they could easily contact them, follow up what's wrong with this particular store in this particular location. So the result, we save over 75% in terms of training costs, despite the turnover rate. It doesn't matter now, even though people in it now. The workflow alert system, it reduces the food waste, due to the gopher code. If the coffee is going for too long, they had to throw it away. But now again, save money from food waste. And also we help them to achieve remote monitoring strategy. It improves the standard of service quality and actually help the business to make more money, increase the profit because they improve the service quality. Customers are more willing to come back to the store, So win-win solution for them. So you can see only the sky's the limit, with our approach. We are actually bringing more and more information, more type of checklists, different type of work orders, diagrams, data, user manual, video, training video, audio. We can use our AI approach, and then we pin all the information around the business spaces. Right on top of the machine, right next to the area they need to go. So the user, they don't need to call someone to find a user manual. They don't need to ask the manager for information. They just need to use the phone, go there, and the information is using AI, ML is pinned right on top of it. So conclusion, this is how we make use of our the AI and ML technology nowadays in 2022 to open door for business, so they could manage operation remotely, improve work standard and so on. I think we can now truly utilize AI technology at this point, and really make it become part of that daily operation, that help business to make work easier. And most importantly, I think there's an interesting feedback that our customer told us. We actually make the work more fun, for the worker to do. I think this is a really important factor for human, and for business as well. I mean, after all, we're all human. We work and we live, and when we deliver AI solution, while we focus a lot on the business term, after all, we want to see, can we make it fun, make it enjoyable, the whole AI experience, so they could start, enjoying using your solution rather than putting more on the shoulder. So you see what I mean? And I think this is a very important factor. And those businesses with our solution, they're now much more ready to attract next generation of people to work for them, especially work on some traditional tasks. So thank you all again for listening to this presentation. So I hope this gives you an idea, how we are argument business enterprise space nowadays at this point with information to make work easier, make work more attractive, and then it supercharge business operation, remote management, training process, and so on. So I would assume this is quite a lot of information for everyone. Feel free, first of all, look at our website, vc777.com. Get a free demo account, inspective.com. And of course, you can always drop me an eye on email, Stephen@visionaries777.com. And then I'll be happy to put you on our mailing list or put you on my contact list. We can stay in touch, we can talk business, or if you would like to work with me, send me your CV. We are hiring always. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Stephen. Sharing a very inspiring use case. So next we will have Yuan from Hiverlab. She will be sharing on the rise of spatial computing. Thank you, Yuan.
Yeah, thanks, Ali, for the intro. Thanks, Stephen, for the first speech. I think it's definitely a lot of very diverse kind of use cases, and specifically when it comes to the inspections, I think Inspectly looks like a very interesting app. And I'm actually very glad that we are still having this conversation today. We participated in Asia Smart App competition a couple of years back, right? And honestly, when you look at the history of AR and VR, there were several times when people were questioning, hey, what exactly is this technology going? And then because we are so firmly believing in this particular direction, I think over the years as technology evolved, is the ones who are serious about this particular direction who managed to last for 10 years or more to stay in the game and really deliver solid solutions. So I think it's a very heartening to see all the progress that everybody has made until today. What I will be sharing today will be a little bit more about the spatial computing, the spatial digital twin aspect of things. So just hang on a minute. I think my slide is currently loading. Should be able to see this coming up now, right?
Yep.
Okay. Great. So I'll be talking a little bit more about spatial computing, spatial digital twin, something I think Stephen also touched a little bit just now in his sharing session. This may be a term that you guys start to hear about in the past, maybe 2 or 3 years. Is an emerging term, but I think just similar to many other terms you are hearing nowadays, like metaverse, different kind of those very fancy terms. Sometimes people don't necessarily know what these terms are actually all about, which is actually nothing to worry about, because usually when a new term comes up, usually it's the people who work on this technology, who work behind it, get to actually define what this term is all about. And at the end of the day, I think it boils down to focus on the business essentials rather than looking at those fancy terms. Right. So anyways, for today, we'll be talking a little bit more about the spatial computing and spatial digital twin. I'm from Hiverlab. We are based in Singapore. We were founded in Singapore in 2014. So we are into the 9th year of our business operations. Over the years, there were a lot of very interesting projects, and I think spatial digital twin is worth mentioning at this juncture as it becomes a rising trend globally right now. So first of all, let's look into some of those terms. We'll try to demystify some of the terms. Okay, so first of all, maybe just a quick chart to introduce AR, VR, MR, as well as maybe extended reality or digital reality. Some of those terms that you guys might have been hearing on a daily basis, I hope. Okay, so for these kind of, all of those terms are basically referring to digital reality solutions, but there's a difference, right? So for virtual reality, it's virtual in a sense that it teleports users into a different space. You might be physically in one location, but you can teleport yourself into a different space. So let's say this worker, he's probably based in an office, but if he has a virtual reality experience, he can teleport himself into a factory environment and perform maybe some training, machine operations training experiences. And for augmented reality, augmented means adding another layer of information. So augmented reality is the technology that allows you to see additional layer of information on top of your physical space. Yeah, so I think it's very easy for a user to differentiate the difference between VR and AR. This one is virtual, this one is kind of like augmenting another layer of information on top of your physical space. And mixed reality is the technology where you can put on a mixed reality headset, see through the lenses, see your physical space, but you can overlay another layer of information from there. The core technology behind MR and AR are actually different, but I think from the layman perspective, you can refer to both MR and AR as a technology that allows you to see additional layer of information, additional holographics, work instructions, for example, on top of your physical space. So that's the mixed reality and augmented reality, and the device you use are different, right? And extended reality and digital reality would be somewhat the umbrella term, or immersive tech, immersive media, all of those kind of these are the umbrella term that covers the different kind of so-called digital reality solutions. And another thing, a second term that you might be hearing is this term called digital twin. So simply put, digital twin is a digital replica or digital copy of your physical asset. Conventionally, there are two types of company who have been working in the digital twin domain for quite a long period of time, frankly speaking. Some of the companies are working, some of those, let's say, customer companies, right? They have been implementing the different kind of systems in their organization in the past 10 or 20 years, go through the first wave of their digital transformation. So with the different kind of systems implemented, they have accumulated all of the data at the back end. But they don't necessarily have a 3D front end. They do have a digital twin in a sense, but it's just that twin it doesn't look quite similar to the physical copies you have, because they don't have a 3D layer where they can augment the info on top of the 3D visualization layer. And another type of company who has been working on digital twin are the ones who are there to digitize the environment with 3D scanners, creating the 3D space. So this group of companies have been working on the digitalization of the physical space for sure, but maybe they are not so focusing on looking into the data side aspect of things. So the trend we are seeing right now is these two group of companies, the two type of expertise are converging together. So in a sense, you are able to now look into creating a 3D virtual space and a lot of data combined together. And the interface can become a lot more natural and intuitive. And at the same time, for the intelligence aspect, you can pretty much tap on the data to derive the intelligence, analytics, simulations, etc. from this kind of digital twin. And this will naturally lead us to the next term that we'll talk about, which is a spatial digital twin or spatial computing in general. as I mentioned earlier in the previous slide, the ideal of creating this kind of a spatial digital twin is kind of like based on the idea that you can combine 3D models together with the data, the systems from the backend. But because we have VR and AR technology or mixed reality technology nowadays, we can actually bring the information to your space. So in a sense, you can augment information on top of your physical space. Even if it's a large scale environment, you are able to do the tracking with the hardware players' latest achievement in the hardware advancement as well. So in a sense, the kind of future we are envisioning is a future where everything becomes something that is computable. There are a lot of sensors that is being deployed nowadays, right? And the overall digital infrastructure is being upgraded. So the spatial computing is kind of like an upcoming trend that I think would worth a lot of attention from the different kind of sectors moving on. So, of course, this is a very common question that we receive from a lot of customers. We look at the visuals, listen to the trend, everything sounds so fancy, but exactly why do we need spatial computing? I think for this question, to address this question, we can look back at the human history. There is basically this kind of innate human desire in terms of digesting information and pursue intelligence. We've come a long way. As you can see, our ancestors have been trying out different methods to communicate with each other, but they may not be fast enough. Maybe some of those info can't be preserved for a long period of time, right? And technology has always been something that is driving the evolution of the humanity development. So most of us in this webinar, this sharing session today are probably born in an era where we were using computers, or like these kind of big computers, or even some of those like big phones at first. And over the years, we've witnessed the evolution of these kind of computing devices. Your computers become smaller. Nowadays, we are pretty comfortable working on laptops or working on tablets or phones. And even maybe like at this point of time, some of you guys are listening to this webinar and play some, or maybe reply messages, play some games on a phone at this point of time. It just become part of our life, right? And obviously, people are looking into the next stage of these kind of computing or communication experiences. And I think based on some of those ongoing technology trends, spatial computing is a very, very natural thing that will happen. Things like IoT or the kind of a system implementation has been happening in the past. A lot of companies are looking into their cloud strategies. You have blockchain and smart contracts at the back end. 5G is being deployed, or Wi-Fi 6 or even 6G is currently being brought up to the conversation, right? I think one of the speakers will be talking about the 5G aspect of things later on. So this internet improvement will allow the data transmission at high speed and low latency. So if you have a lot of data or like those kind of 3D assets that is hosted on the cloud, in the past you probably won't be able to stream it. But nowadays with 5G internet, you are able to kind of like stream your information from the cloud. And we are looking to a kind of like new computing experiences across a different kind of scale, rather than what we have been experiencing in the past 20 years, where everything is done on one single hardware device. Okay, and also APIs and open standards would allow the system integration to happen more rapidly, more easily. And machine learning and AI, of course, this can be done once you have the big data at the back to look into some of those use cases that might be automated, or might be able to be automated to facilitate the overall work process. And of course, all of those information are happening at the back end. They can be abstract, and you need a layer to allow human to interact with machine, allow human to interact with data, and even allow human to interact with human while they are trying to get some kind of interpretation or intelligence from the data. And very naturally, the kind of immersive technology and the spatial computing is the interface that links the users up with the very complicated things that's going on at the back end, right? So this is the kind of the overall digital infrastructure that is coming up. Although today we are talking about AR and VR, I think generally speaking, increasingly we are seeing the trend of people looking into AR and VR not just as one technology, but also looking at the AR and VR as part of a bigger infrastructure. So you are able to essentially deliver a holistic solution to the users. So if you recall what Stephen mentioned just now, they were actually looking into inspection together with the systems. So it's not just purely about AR and VR. There's always a back-end thinking going on at at the back end. So I think this kind of holistic thinking is something that is coming up when we talk about AR and VR app development. So yeah, so I think, of course, this trend is not something that just Hiverlab sees. A lot of industry players are able to see that as well, and that is why we were able to work with a lot of companies in the past 8-9 years to develop the kind of solutions for them. And over the years, as we accumulate the kind of knowledge, and we are able to deduct some kind of common functionalities, common use cases that the users will need. So that's why we have a central platform for users to manage their immersive content for different use cases. For example, you can use Cloud Expo, which is a virtual tour creation platform, to create your online virtual tours, showcases of your facilities. Augmented reality broadcasting app RealityCast allows users to present with holographics. And Spatial Work is our digital twin creation platform that allows users to create their 3D digital twin easily without having to do coding, right? So this is a central platform that we offer to our customers, which allows users to manage their own immersive content. And the key offerings you often see in the market would be spatial digital twin for operations and some of those training, maintenance, product visualization experiences. But because today we're talking about spatial digital twin and spatial computing, I've actually prepared some samples specifically along this line. I have 2 case studies which I think we're able to share today. The first one is actually a spatial digital twin case study that talks about the spatial experience together with the data that can be looped into this kind of space. And this particular case study is from Cheng, which is one of the logistics companies. Okay, so we have 2 videos over here. Let me explain the context, right? So the context of this is our overall spatial digital twin concept actually fulfill the different needs across a business process. So let's say you have a space and you want to plan out the overall layout. This is where the 3D models would be very useful. You can adjust the layout from the spatial web editor and look into the layout in the AR environment, and you're able to make a live adjustment from there. And after the site goes live, since you already have the initial 3D models, then it's actually quite easy to look in the data coming from different systems for the kind of a facility management that you would require during the operations to cut costs, enhance the data visibility, data transparency across the different departments. So let me just quickly play these 2 videos for everybody to see.
Here at DB Schenker Red Lion Warehouse, we have the largest integrated freight and logistics warehouse inside the Airport Logistic Park of Singapore. With our 50 years experience working with international and local clients all over the world, we provide warehouse solutions to meet our clients' constant and evolving changing needs and requirements. In today's world, our biggest challenge is the costly and impractical way to create our prototypes for all the solutions that we have in mind. The advanced machineries are very time-consuming to make modifications, and all these modifications are extremely costly. We have completed an augmented reality visualization as part of our RFQ offering. These visualizations cognitively engages our customers, providing them with an unprecedented experience, allowing them to see solutions come to life months before realizations. They can visualize the finalized solutions using the interactive features of our AR, no longer relying on their imaginations or AutoCAD drawings. And this brings the presentation onto the site, not confining it to meeting room discussions. Ultimately, technology is a tool that helps us focus our efforts on exploring creative and innovative solutions that will further push the capabilities of DB Schenker. Advanced technologies such as AR offer everyone the opportunities to turn their dreams and ideas they envision into reality. DB Schenker Singapore has just taken the first step forward in using AR, and I look forward to using it more intensively to explore new ideas and solutions for our clients. At DB Schenker Singapore, we are the premise of premise.
So right, this is the first stage. And of course, we were talking about after the site goes live, you are able to then loop in the data into this whole process. Right, so this is an example of a kind of a digital twin. Of course, we've been helping a lot of companies to deploy similar digital twins to their own facilities, factories, warehouses, smart city, etc. So I think generally speaking, this is the rising trend that we see, and it would actually require the coordination across different parties to be able to deploy these solutions effectively, especially if it's a government type of project. Okay, so yeah, and I think it's worth to mention that this project has recently won the RSCS award last year in the innovation category in Southeast Asia. Okay, so this is the first spatial digital twin case study we would like to share with everyone today. And I've also prepared another one that is actually quite recently launched in the Singapore in Jewel. Let me just test it out.
Right from its conceptualization, Jewel was envisioned to be the attraction for both international travelers and local visitors. To remain relevant and competitive, not just locally but globally, we need to constantly reinvent and innovate ourselves. Plus, we're always on the lookout for opportunities to enhance our experience, to bring innovation to the Jewel experience for our guests, whether they are here for the first time or as a repeat visitors. Driven by this desire for excellence, we have embarked on the Jewelristic quest. Working with Hiverlab and Heckler, the experts in the fields of digital transformation, design, and animation production, we aspire to provide an experience like no other that opens new door in the AR realism amid our stellar indoor architecture. Marrying the biophilic design of Jewel and the evergreen, well-loved dinosaur theme. This is a one-of-a-kind experience that is bound to be a treat for all senses, be it for the young or the young at heart.
So the last 2 years have been quite a difficult time for businesses all over the world as we grapple with the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. We created Jewelristic Quest with the intention to bring cheer back to our guests as they immerse in an environment that's completely different from their lives and from reality. And since we've opened in 2019, we've been receiving so much love and support from everyone, not just in Singapore but from around the world. And in return for that, we will hope to refresh more and more offerings so that every guest that comes into Jewel will be constantly surprised and delighted. When we planned the story flow, we were very mindful that navigation had to be easy and seamless for the participants. We also wanted to showcase the lush greenery of the Shiseido Forest Valley, as well as our majestic HSBC Rainwater and the Canopy Park. What we want to really achieve is to wow our guests with the larger-than-life dinosaurs being augmented against the physical environment of greenery and water. So knowledge of the traffic flow and expected peak periods in Jewel is essential. This is crucial when we plan the entire game flow as well as the routes from every checkpoint. For example, how does one guest move from one checkpoint to another, especially if they are on different levels. So the main consideration will be the ease of movement, such as having escalators or lifts nearby, and having the two different locations allow the guest to have a bit of a breather and intermission that will allow him or her to enjoy the rest of what Jewel has to offer. I think with the support of Singapore Tourism Board, the Jewelristic Quest experience will be the first of its kind in Singapore, with an immersive AR experience augmented against Jewel's physical environment.
With the launch of Jewelristic Quest, we will open the doors to one of the world's largest narrative-driven AR dinoverses.
Right, yeah, just a quick demo here. So I think the reason why I bring up these two case studies is the first case study in the logistics setting. This is actually more of a B2B kind of use case. The second one here, it's for us, it's a B2B because we're serving a business, right? But at the end of the day, it's actually a consumer experience. So the idea is that spatial computing is something that's coming up, a large-scale augmented kind of environment, and this can be benefiting both enterprises as well as customers in the long run. So of course, we understand there are some requirements in the market to be able to deploy solutions very easily, very quickly, very cost effectively. So that is also why we provide this spatial work platform that allows users to create their digital twin in minutes. We have 3D libraries. We allow users to use our data handler to link up their data points. So I think this is something that Hiverlab is something that we are focusing on to drive the overall adaptation to benefit a wider community. The users can plan out their own space, can visualize the information in AR and link up the data through spatial work. So this is my last slide. I just want to make one last comment on digital transformation. I think this is something that is inevitable. Everyone here, we are experiencing this on a daily basis. It's going to happen in the next couple of years. But the technology is technology. At the end of the day, I think I'm making a similar comment as what Stephen has mentioned earlier. The people and the process are the key. Otherwise, the technology you develop is pretty useless, right? And another thing is we'll need to keep in mind on the ecosystem thinking, because at the end of the day, we are looking at AR and VR as part of a bigger IT ecosystem. And at the end of the day is the contribution of people coming from different backgrounds that is able to put up the best holistic solution to the target users. So with that, I'll wrap up my sharing today. I'm from Hiverlab, and if you guys have any follow-up discussions you want to have, do feel free to drop us an email here, ask@hiverlab.com, or visit our website. Okay, so that's all from my side. I will stop sharing now and hand over the time to Kylie and the next speaker.
Thank you, Yuan. The spatial experience is a very interesting one. So if you have any questions, for the participants, if you have any questions to our speakers, you can feel free to ask in the chat room, and our moderator, I will have to ask during the panel discussion. So now let us welcome Daniel of CSL, sharing on the use case and previous campaign of CSL 5G AR Lens, which is the app actively recent in Hong Kong. Daniel.
Hi, Kelly fans. Hi, everyone. I'm Daniel Chung from the operator at CSL in Hong Kong. Kelly, are you able to see my screen, my slideshow in full screen?
No, it's not a full screen.
Hang on a second.
Yeah. And can see all of your slides out there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's okay?
It works.
Oh, okay, thanks. So I'm from the operator CSL, and actually I'm responsible for product and service, in particular in the consumer sector. So today my topic I'm going to share is about, we launched 5G almost 2 years from now, and we do a lot of trialing, putting up some tangible service, and in particular we deploy sometimes to have new come up services called CSL 5G AR Lens. And I will spend some time to talk through the journey, how and why we developed this AR Lens. And some of the use case, we work with different partners, different user sectors. So talk about 5G, I want to share some of the two key parameters. We actually, in Hong Kong, we launched 5G in 1st of April 2020. And today so happened is also April 2022. As I mentioned, it's just 2 years life cycle for 5G. Every generation, 3G, 4G, 5G, probably take about 10, 15 years. So we believe that it is a kind of game changer for our lifestyle and also the whole industry. We are expecting the 5G deliver the ultra high speed, massive connectivity, and particularly the low latency. A lot of things can enable for this 5G infrastructure. Today, if I look at look at some of the public released figures. This is from the GfK measurement report. You will see today the handset penetration in the market, the whole Hong Kong, is actually over 85% people is using 5G handset. To us, meaning that as an operator, we are more than ready to deploy a lot of service through 5G, this infrastructure. In terms of the user penetration, as you probably remember, in a small city like Hong Kong, we have 7.5 population, and surprisingly, every one of us got more than 2 or 3 pieces of SIM card. In terms of the 5G subs, adding up all those postpaid and prepaid user, we have more than 16% of people and subscriber with the 5G services on hand. So remind the time back 2 years ago when we launched 5G, we have a strong conviction that we want to bring some tangible services to our target consumer. Start from music, from in the old day, people listening to MP3 format. And then later on, we have the CD quality like 16-bit music. And on the move today, we are offering like 24-bit music. In terms of like 4K video streaming, because 5G enable a better broadband for the people on the go enjoying their movie. We firstly launched our own Now TV content, 4K football matches. And also it's also the first in the town, we're launching a 5G Netflix bundling offer, as well as some of the YouTube premium partnering with Google on this regard. We've been have a lot of different POC offering into the city. But today I want to, as I mentioned, I want to particularly talk about location and AR. That we believe that this is one of our pillars in the consumer sector can really ready and extend some of the tangible service through 5G to our subscriber within CSL. Working in CSL or working with CSL partner with us, we actually every time the thinking logic when we create something, a new product and service, we think through things like the target audience, the user base, whether it's associated with our brand trust, whether this is an innovation, and how can we help them to embrace a bigger audience. So I walk through this with you guys one by one. This is our family in terms of today in Hong Kong, kind of community. In terms of B2B, we have our Hong Kong T Enterprise solution. In terms of B2C, people like a lot of people already subscribe our broadband service. We have the media content, now OTT service. In the middle, you see our mobile pillar. We have got CSL 1010, and then we have a friendly MVNO partner, the Sun Mobile. And recently, in the past 2-3 years, we extend to more new digital business. We have a eTech.go payment service today, people using the consumer voucher scheme from the government. We have the fintech offering, the Tap and Go wallet, and the Flexi services. And the bigger side is our loyalty platform. Altogether, adding up is more than 4 million user base is within our Hong Kong T sectors. And we believe that when we create something new, product and service, we strongly associate with this brand trust. And in terms of the innovation, I want to share about to create this AR lens is actually, we start with these pictures. I rewind back to 2019 when we start to look at what we can make use of technology, like the other two speakers talk about how the technology helps the people in their daily life. Look at this picture. People in the street distribute, no matter it's a SME, a small merchant, they hire people distribute hand bill to try to do a lot of traffic pooling to attract food they're offering to their retail outlet, no matter it's online or in a bigger shopping center. But imagine nowadays, today, everyone suffer from the pandemic situation, is not able to do that. This is the very tiny observation from our consumer sector. We look at the people and then try to do something to help them. That's the starting point. We create this AR lens. It's actually marketing tools help the people in more affordable, easier ways to do the traffic pooling. And day one, with beta testing, actually alongside with our 5G launch in year 2020, the second quarter, we deploy with our engine Unity, try to acting as those people deliver the handbill in the street. But of course, with today, a lot of people using the mobile phone, we believe that with a strong connection can make the things more smarter and easier. We start to approach different family merchants. If you look at the screen, you see Häagen-Dazs, coffee, academic, our family coffee Cheng. We approach them whether they can have some amazing offering, and then we use our engine know-how, adding up to another attribute, location-based and time-sensitive, trying to make use of this AR lens to do the traffic pooling. And as I mentioned about 5G, we want to be more pragmatic and also tangible to help the target to connect the target audience, the consumer, with the merchant. So we also want some fundamental changes. In the old days, people using their 5-inch mobile phone or 6-inch mobile phone or even tablet, they always look heads down, look at the small screen. This time we create this AR lens. We want to change the behavior in this 5G application. Our slogans, we want to lens up and then through the AR lens, through their smartphone to look at different offers around their living environment. And put down the lens, easily can get a lot of offer. Later on, I will show you some practical example that we work with our target merchant. Through this location-based amazing offer from the merchant and time sensitive, if you top up the lens, you can see where is the offer from. Let's say in the screen, you see Häagen-Dazs. There is in Causeway Bay environment, 60 meters ahead in this direction that your handset is pointing to. Through the AR lens, you will see there is an offer. Similar like the coffee academic, it's more closer, 80 meters ahead in that particular direction, you can get the offer. More easy to identify. There is some tangible, attractive offer from the people hanging around on the way they spend their time in the public area. When these three attributes gear up into one piece of program through the Unity, we start to massively approach different merchants to, under this new normal situation, pandemic situation, we believe that this can help them draw more traffic into their business. Some showcase I would like to highlight. This is one of the example. We work with the Japanese fashion brand, Uniqlo. Two things we actually achieve in this exercise through the AR lens. Number one is we help them to do the traffic. Imagine in the COVID situation, they have like 29 to 30 outlets in the Hong Kong. And they suffer from heavily impact from their foot traffic because of the social distancing measure. And they want to change a new way, adding up some of the traffic pooling to their online shop to help them through the AR lens with a simple API connect to their backend online tool to do the business traffic pooling. Some of the example here, I would like to show. We put up the lens with a lucky draw instant view gamification capability. Very easy to understand for user. Lens up, see something happen in the street, and click the lucky draw block, get the offer, and then directly either can choose go online to redeem the offer or go to one of their 29 outlets to get the offer easily. It seems that within this new normal COVID situation, more merchants willing to try new things and face new opportunity to do business. And we also try with different sector. Virtual banking is another sector. We offering this AR lens to attract people sign up these new services in the banking sector. And you will see in this video, there's some promo video for the lens. And then getting some of the gamification mechanism and getting the offer finally into the tiny wallet within the AR lens. Further example, also in other industry, this is the example. We selling the gamification, working with this partner called Zhou Dai Fuk. And normally, the big brand like this merchant, every day, every season, they perhaps acquire different IP, deploying selective shopping center to attract traffic. As I mentioned, keep mentioning about the COVID impact of those foot traffic. At this time, we extend to their IP, work with the AR lens to do a lot of gamification to engage their target customer. Besides this gamification, we're also able to let the merchant to know where the attraction is delivered throughout the Hong Kong area. Some area is more attracted to getting this e-coupon, draw traffic to their selective outlet. Some could be lesser, so they can do a lot of cross-sell, upsell, follow-up with our input pros or the P-event of using this AR lens. So happened up to now 1.5 years, we partner with more than 400 clients using our AR lens. So it's kind of tangible, practical, particularly during this pandemic period, help the merchant drawing traffic and improve their current business. The screen show here is some of the partner that we are highlighting in the past 1.5 years using our lens. So this is the starting phase. The part one will build our lens, the 5G AR lens, running on the Unity engine. Later on, we add on another building blocks, try to engage existing user. They already on board the lens, no matter they are merchant or they are active user within this platform. We introduce a more tangible content to engage, try to do a lot of user delight with the second part of this AR lens. What we add on is kind of image recognition capability powered by a new engine we call the Euphoria engine, with a second part to further enhance the capability of this lens. And we don't immediately try a big campaign, but then we actually start to testing this second engine with our what we call is an art tech partnership with the Hong Kong Museum of Art, which is actually we have a campaign with this partner in March to May last year. With this add-on, you see there is the Hong Kong Museum of Art building located in Tsim Sha Tsui, Hong Kong. There is a back piece of outdoor image, like in the screen you saw this Chinese lady use the AR lens from far end. You can already capture this image and deploy some amazing AR effect like this one. So may not be as like Yuan mentioned about a high-end spatial computing capability, but through this gamification, we truly believe that can delight a lot of users through this 3D effect. A lot of fun elements through the lens can attract people. And in this screen you saw, I believe a lot of people may not be in person visiting this Museum of Art, but with this campaign launched to the city last year, we see this is the first long queue 45-minute appeal in this curling up in this Museum of Art, which is really encouraging result through this campaign. Of course, this is a very rich art tech campaign. And in Q4 last year, is becoming another big winning for this AR lens. We come back to our CSL, which is our first merchant using this AR lens to draw traffic. We create a new amazing campaign. We call it Mirror 5G Pen. Mirror, I think no need to mention, nowadays is the most popular boy group in Hong Kong society. Similar as the first building block of AR lens, we want to solve some problem with a small problem statement, people hanging the handbill street. In this second building block of AR lens through the Euphoria engine, the ideas come from these trading cards. A lot of young kids or kiddos in the old day, they may collect different this trading card like the Dragon Ball shown in here. We want to make use of AR to make this trendy collectible cards to be more 3D, augmented reality capable. So we create a lot of these fly cards with unknown collectible card inside this package. Some of the this 12 boy group, different image, we put inside the package of this individual buy card. AR effect, this is one of the examples I want to share with you guys. So besides a static card, nowadays they can enjoy more delighting experience like this one. And further on, add on with this one, I recall in the old day when you take these collectible trading cards, you add on a couple of cards, they make it the combination more high-end, powerful capability when you're playing this trading card game. We add on this simple idea, inspiration from this card set to have this setup in our AR lens. People collect 3 cards in a way sequence can have different AR effect. So imagine we actually launched this campaign with CSL, our merchant, happening Q4, which is November, December year-end kind of timing. people wanted to have more collectible items, we actually make a new set of calendar, but it's an AR calendars. And from time to time, we add on upload different content from this boy group. They can directly engage with their fans easily, even though under the COVID situation. And same as this idea, we deploy in poster for this Euphoria engine. So this is also the first AR poster we deploy through this new engine. From different timing, like the countdown year end, we also have the outdoor poster deployed with this AR effect. So this is actually the giant billboard located in Causeway Bay opposite the so-called the big shopping mall. The people stay in the other side of the street, take out the lens up, even though a far end, not directly pointing to this outdoor billboard, giant outdoor billboard, can already enjoy with this delighted AR effect in a very easy way. Of course, year end, there's a lot of award presentation. This is one of the mirror getting a lot of awards in the commercial radio presentation year end. We also make use this outdoor billboard with the AR lens to help them connect to the fans. The merchant no need to, on-shelf another creative, wait for the printed matter. They immediately, easily to take out a mobile phone, capture the video easily to upload to our AR lens, and the people engage with the outdoor billboard or the AR calendar can easily get their message directly from this boy group. So I hope this tangible make use of AR technology can be a good starting to drive our 5G experience. Later on, we still embrace a lot of new experience, new opportunity with this group of merchants. Hopefully from AR, VR, we can extend to further new experience for this 5G infrastructure. My last slide is actually, we always welcome people approaching us, no matter you wanted to work something through AR or your new idea or through our building platform to acquire more target audience. We are welcome to work with individual startup, SME or merchant. Feel free to approach me or approach WTIA so that we can work together. We have a framework, welcome different partner, different entrepreneurs to building up this 5G ecosystem. Last not the least, we believe that in 5G, in our CSL community, we see the world differently because we're seeing our business already differently from the old day. Thank you. This is my sharing.
Thank you, Daniel. Very wonderful speech. So let's pass the time to our last speaker today, Amy of NetDragon Websoft, speaking on how to apply AR and VR in learning. Amy.
Hello, everyone. I think, we have listened to 3 very great talks, but I'm not sure if you need to move your shoulders, shake your heads, and, move your fingers just make sure that, you know, you're relaxed enough, because I understand that everyone has been sitting for quite a long time. Okay, thank you for kindly introducing me. I think that everybody is pretty knowing how to use our Zoom raise hand function. Let us interact by very two simple questions. You just raise your hand when you think that, you know, you have experience in any occasions, AR or VR technology in your previous experiences. Just raise your hand. If you have experienced AR or VR technology, can you raise your hands like that? Well, yes. Oh, great. You know, I think a lot of people raising your hands, you know, so I think, you know, we are all on the same page. We all know what it is. And in fact, our last three speakers have spoken very clearly about what is AR and VR. Okay, the next question. How many of you think that young children, like 6-year-old to 10-year-old, they will love learning how to make AR or VR? How many of you will think like that? They like it? If you think they like it, you know, can you raise your hand too? Wow, a lot of hands. Yes, I'm not sure if you are parents or you have young people around you, but you know, it seems like it is much more fun than just to have maths or Chinese or English or things like that, right? Anyway, thank you for this inclination to give us some indication of what, you know, we are talking about. So anyway, let us go into the topic today. Let me share screen. Can you all see my screen? Okay, so let me go back to my first page first. Okay, so this is my first page. Can you all see that? Not yet? Okay, so let me stop share again. Let me try again. Okay.
Yep, it works. We can see.
Does that work?
Yep.
Okay, so let us get into our topic. So thank you, WTIA, for introducing this very interesting topic. But of course, I think the three speakers have spoken very precisely and comprehensively about what is AR and VR. So I'm not going into repeating that. Because, you know, after all, we have only 20+ minutes or so. Today, you know, in my talk is now geared towards, you know, a classroom setting, you know, make ourselves or younger. I will focus on our experiences with Hong Kong schools as how NetDragon, as an IT company, we successfully introduced AR and VR technology into our classrooms. So NetDragon is a listed company in Hong Kong, founded in 1999. Our global business is divided into two parts. One is gaming and one is tech. Udemons Online is our IP, you know, flagship game online program. Actually, this photo shows our research and development center in China, Fuzhou. This is the Star Trek spaceship. And that is actually our office space, you know, which is quite cool. And we have got the license from CBS to let us build another one, you know, apart from inside the movie. So we all hope that when the COVID goes away, then we can go there for a spaceship tour. You're all very welcome. Just to share with you in brief, the vision of our company in portraying our picture of education. So not only do we deliver the top of the edge technologies to support learning, we value partnerships, collaborations, on-job training, and best practice sharing. So when you see from this picture, on the right, left corner, there is the vocational college that closely collaborates with NetDragon. It is actually next to our research center. It is to offer tech research on product development. And of course, we also offer reciprocally workplace interns for their college students. And on the right, you know, you can see a bunch of, you know, very cute kids. You know, it is actually an Inno primary school built by ND in applying our technology towards the classroom learning. So the campus has started operation 2 years ago. And I was told that there is quite a long list now waiting for going into the school. It's pretty kind of innovative. Fujian government also set up Fujian's largest VR experience center in our campus. So this is to showcase dominantly NetDragon's VR applications for educational, consumer-based, and industrial sectors. I think this is our international footprint. So you can see from this map, from the top to the bottom, all our major companies involved in education technology. From the top left, you can see Promethean. This is the #1 in US and Europe sales market in terms of providing classroom with interactive display solutions. And our brand is called Active Panel. Bottom right is CherryPix. It is a mobile app company in Hong Kong, specializing in AR and O2O technology. Hong Kong people should be very familiar with it because you may be using it every day, like Amy, like Leave Home Safe, of which CherryPix provides engineering support. Jumpstart is a renowned US company offering innovative educational games to K-12 children. Edmodo, originated from USA, is the world's largest social learning platform targeted for educators and learners with 144 million users covering over 190 countries. Art Media specializes in hologram technologies. So in Hong Kong, where for the last 2 years, online learning has been the trend, Edmodo offers a hybrid learning platform to cater for the school needs. So our bandwidth covers 4 major areas. First, it is the hybrid learning platform for K-12. Then it is the after-school support. Below, it is the professional development for teachers. Last but not least, that is the STEM solutions. And in Hong Kong market, we mainly focused in primary schools computational thinking, and then VR and AR, both for primary and secondary. Okay, so when we talk about our AR and VR, this is actually our AR app, and we call it 101 AR. This is actually a modified version of our original commercial app called AR Wiz, developed by CherryPix. It is really easy to use, cloud-based, low device requirement. You only need a PC, Wi-Fi, and 10R the license, and then that is it. Even an 8-year-old kid, they can manage and curate his or her first AR project. So let you see how easy it is. And you have the tracker, get a 3D asset from our embedded repository, fix the size, learn about the dimensions, big, small, and then locate it in the right place. Of course, if you like, you can drag and drop one more 3D asset to make it even more interactive. How about adding some, functions or, experience? So with a voice, and then, pass through the test code. Then this AR is generated like within 5 minutes. And even an 8-year-old or primary 3 child can do that. So this is VR. Our VR platform is called VR Mystycraft. And then, when you come to this VR Mystycraft, we think that it is really powerful. Of course, I would say like that, because the power lies in it resembles very much a gaming scenario. So you remember our company has the DNA in gaming. So, we are making simulative, solutions like that. So, it has a lot of shooting, gaining points, changing levels, things like that. And the kids just love them. And now it's set here, within 90 minutes, you can create a VR experience. And it is, really true. I have seen a lot of kids, like 10-year-olds, who can do that. So, this is our VR Mystycraft. How we differentiate from the other software is that we make it very student-friendly. So the software has a depository of over 30,000 3D assets and settings. This is actually providing a one-stop solution to students. And that's why the students have no need to search for the other 3D assets elsewhere or to learn how to make them first. No coding knowledge is required. So, they just drag and drop. anyone can curate their first VR very easily. And of course, very immersive too. Later, I will show you some of their examples. So the great thing is, the students, they have a lot of fun and they learn at the same time they create. And AR, VR motivate their creativity while having a lot of fun. Okay, so now in the next few slides, I'm going to share with you chronologically our quest of disrupting school learning by the introduction of AR, VR technology. Since I am not talking to school heads, I can use this word disrupting, As I said, these two solutions are pretty easy to use, very student friendly and innovative and imaginative. So when the two solutions became very mature for product launch in 2017, we boldly kickstarted these technologies B2B 5 years ago. And of course, it is not at all easy, at that time, it is a very new, new thing to the school and to the teachers. So we talked to school in 2017, about this technology. At that time, we've gone through some hassles, and then we started to do some outreach, during 2018 and 2019. And then at 2020, we feel that, the tone has changed. And then now the education sector are pretty, welcoming to these technologies. So let me walk you through what has taken place, in the previous years. So in 2017, we talked to school about this new tech. At that time, we even had to explain word by word. AR, augmented reality, what does it mean? VR, virtual realities, what does it mean? So as a gaming company, our product is designed to be very gamifying, innovative and easy to use, right? So we thought that, the teachers would like it. And of course, initially, school heads do not like this gaming word, Okay, so they thought we are encouraging the kids to play games, and parents don't like it too much. And anyway, we thought it is fun, creative, and with learning values. And so, therefore, we spent some time to start this outreach journey. We approached schools in Hong Kong, offering them to use our software free for a certain period of time, let them taste it. We give workshops, talks, help school host some STEM fairs, set up after school clubs. What the kids love most is actually, we offered, a 5-day VR AR experiential camp to our spaceship campus. So the kids, they found that, wow, they go to the spaceship to learn VR and AR in an IT company. They actually, a lot of them, when they were there, they said that they don't want to come back, So at that stage, the school started to feel slightly differently, and they said, okay, maybe let us try for a little class and then wait and see. They are having a kind of a reactive attitude, but the students, we can see that they love a lot, they're very engaged. So the results kind of like, change, gradually. And now I can say that almost all schools know what is AR and VR, and they actually welcome, it to be part of the school learning. Even our government has funding support to invite schools to obtain money to focus on learning these two areas. The kids actually have so much fun in it, and they get better and better. A lot of them, they enter competitions and they gain awards. Some even become, trainers, certified. Some, they actually, have the desire and the passion to work on AR and VR field, and they want to be workplace interns, things like that. I think this is a very interesting journey for this industry and for AR and VR. We champion new technology developments. But at the same time, the challenge is how to take the lead to tell our users about these technologies. Until one day they come back to us and telling us that they are so much useful and how can we make more use of them. So I think this is really interesting, but we have experienced it and we are very happy to share with that. So this is some of the photos that we have experienced before, our AR, VR experiential camp. And then, they have these, just like going camping, they just love it. We started from P4 to even Form 6, at one time I thought that I'm a tourist guy, instead of working in an IT company, but, it's something that is very immersive, and it has the environment to engage the kids and to let them think further. What is IT? What is working in IT? what is technology, what is innovation, and they have a lot of collaboration opportunities. And I think that is very precious. So we offer student workshops, trainings, and some practical time. This is actually a thematic learning area. On the left, this is actually about a VR experience, and the focus is about Christmas, Santa Claus, and it is actually a topic in their Chinese language. And so, we have our advocates and interns. We have a college student who is certified as trainers, and he actually helped us train teachers. He's marvelous. And the parent workshops are important because, the parents need to know what is going on, right? And actually, after a few times, we find that the parents are even more engaged than the kids. And that helped, us move along when we are, curating this, IT journey from our next generation. Of course, teachers, we need to tell them what is it. So, we have Pro-D advancement course, to tell teachers what these AR and VR technologies are like. Of course, many of them are IT teachers, computer teachers, STEM teachers, but some of them are just ordinary subject area teachers, but the headmasters think that they need to know. So, they enroll them to a lot of these courses, and we support that. So, I think, we experience from somebody asking this question, what is it, and then somebody saying that we can do this. So what has been, the journey, the stumbling blocks, and what is the conversion point? I'm going to share a little bit more with you, and then to give you some school cases. So what is it? I think, can you guess who asked this question? So, the person who is asking this question is very often the school heads, or the school teachers. What is it? AR and VR. And so, of course, we explained to them. And after that, they asked, again, what is it to do with us? So it is very gaming centric, right? It is not included in DSE. Teachers didn't know how to teach, come on. Parents won't support, and of course, the list can continue and continue. So I'm sure that we all understand the scenario when we first introduce a new technology to the education sector, it's more a bit reserved, or maybe, step back, hey, wait, let me find out more first, see if the other schools are doing. So at that time, we are facing with all of our atmosphere like that, backdated to 5 or 6 years ago. Okay, so, then, you can feel this difference in tone. Okay, perhaps, we can have a try. So I think after a while, the teachers and the school principals, they kind of maybe, okay, let's try for a class, let our teachers listen and find out what it is. And so we offer them, the free use of our software for a while. We facilitate some workshops, as I just said about. We provide with some courseware templates. The students start to have touch on it. And when you find out the students started to involve in it, they had a lot of fun. Because as I said in the beginning, this is very easy to use, very user-friendly, and very gamifying. So, at that time, we also chip in our partners to help us doing some tech-on courses. We have hardware suppliers helping to provide the schools with devices. So the school realizes that these gamifying, software or solutions is not too bad. They actually engage the kids more in learning. So it's a lot of fun, as what Stephen just said, earlier in the first talk. Yes, fun is a lot of important element when it comes to learning. So now this is another phrase that the school teachers are saying to us, or the school headmasters. We can do this in school, or the students will learn. So now the school heads come back to us. We want to use AR and VR in teaching Chinese history, which is very interesting. How about forming STEM classes? Can we use your applications to enter competitions? So we see the conversion finally appears. It takes some time, but it's worth it. I think when our young people start to have hands-on, technology, into experiencing it, into curating it, into finding fun out of it, and getting some recognition out of it. So I think it is good news for the city, right? So now let me share with you some of our successful stories in deploying in the schools. And I'm sharing with you 4 schools which have, slightly 4 angles. Is it? No, maybe is it 4 schools or 3 schools? I don't know. Anyway, let's see. Every school has different focus. So the first school is actually integrate AR into their mainstream curriculum. Okay, and it ended up with students getting awards. So this is called St. Paul's Convent School Secondary Session. This is a very famous girls' school in Hong Kong. Last year, due to COVID, and they had to have online classes. I think a lot of schools are like that. And in summertime, with no outdoor activities, and you cannot go to UK and you cannot go to overseas trip. So the school attempted to offer summer courses for 30 to 40 students in the class. And then, this is the VR course, and they have to sit, for distance. And we also offer the online AR courses. We provided them with the licenses, and of course, our partners also partnered with us, to provide with the training. And then, they learned the editing skills, and then the teachers found it pretty helpful and pretty user-friendly. So the next step is that, the school started to talk to other teachers. And then finally, the Chinese history teacher found it very interesting. And then the Chinese history teacher said that, why don't we apply AR in the Chinese history lesson? And, it is really interesting because, Chinese history is a very traditional subject. And now it is integrated with the technology. And, the teachers actually mandated all the students to make a project out of AR on the topic of these 3 kingdoms. So end up every kid has to make it the AR project on that. And of course, some kids did it better. And so the teachers picked those better ones to enter the competition. And so, here they are, they entered the competition and then they got the 2nd place. So, this is like a, aha, wow, great. They gained something, they learned something, it becomes part of their learning areas. And some of them even got an award, which they have not expected that. So I think, this is a pretty, encouraging case when it becomes part of the learning, and yet, the students got excited about it. Now, this is the 2nd school. This is a boys' secondary school, and it is at St. Joseph Anglo's Chinese school. Now, they are using the VR technology in a different, perspective. Our VR Mastercraft is very gamifying in nature. So, in this case, they actually attracted the students with low learning desires to be re-engaged in learning. So now this school applies VR learning after school activity. And then, it helped to draw those really interested students to join. And the teacher told me that there are a few students who are academically not strong, very low in motivation to learn. And then they are very engaged in learning VR. And because of that, the students are drawn into learning again and getting very passionate. The reason is because he wished to make use of some learning areas to apply into his curated VR games. And so finally, he created a VR city. And then this VR city scenario has actually been adopted into our software standardized template. So I think, this is really an encouraging, story for educators and for every one of us, because, it actually triggers the kids to learn actively again. And of course, it is not only for low achieving students, it is the same school. It is, last year, there are high performing students, they actually equally love VR. And so, when last year, I think it's the latter half of the year when they could go back to school, even for half day. So these high performing students, they continue to engage in this after school club, this is the VR club. And so, they wanted to enter the competition, to apply their knowledge with their innovation and creativity into creating something for helping the city. So they actually created a VR game called The War on Germs. So they are creating a game to remove the germs and to heal the sick guy in that VR world. And this engagement brought them as a silver award, which took place last Christmas, just a few months ago. So I think, in this in this case, actually, the VR technology could actually engage various types of students or different learning needs of students to be, learning and feeling very passionate. So I think, this is something very encouraging as well to us all. The last but not least is primary school. This is Feng Tai Innovative School. Now, this time it is not about students, it's about teachers. So the school head thinks that it is very important for the teachers to know about new technology. So she enrolls all the teachers. You can see the top photo as all their 67 teachers, I still remember that, to learn AR and VR. So, they even invited us to work along with the teachers to provide courseware templates so that the teachers can apply VR in lessons. And one good example is that, the teachers used VR to teach the 4 seasons of Westlake's Saiwu. And so through the VR, the students can literally go into the Westlake at 4 different seasons, spring, summer, autumn, and winter. And after that, the students are encouraged to write compositions out of the 4 scenarios. I was told that after the lesson, the principal and the Chinese language teachers actually found that the students have obvious improvement in writing those kind of descriptive, essay. And, and then after that, the headmistress thought that this is a very great example. And she even used this class to demo to other teachers of the other schools as a best practice sharing. So I thought that this is a kind of like an encouraging experience to teachers teach teachers how to use VR to teach in the lessons. So these are a few examples from the schools, and I would like to show you now the productions of our students that they have made and creating the VR experiences, VR games or VR projects. So I think maybe I will stop talking for a while and kind of, giving you the time to enjoy this 2-minute video. Let me sum up with 3 I words. Technology, especially in AR and VR, is interesting. I think we all agree with that. And our solutions resemble game curation and game playing, so students and educators love them. And especially when students got to design and integrate knowledge inside, it is very rewarding. Of course, we all agree that it is innovative. And through these technologies, I think students are triggered and inspired to think out of the box, to create solutions, to give new way out, to debug, to communicate, to collaborate and present ideas to others. Actually, these are all 21st century learning skills. And technology, you can see, it meets the diversified demands of students' needs as well. After all, we wish to see that, VR and AR technology can create an impact, the third eye, towards our younger generation and towards our city. Now, like this image, this is actually an environmentally friendly city created in AR, and what we call the metaverse now. And it is created by the student whom I just told you that he has very low learning desires. And then he could create a VR city like that, and which is adopted in our software as part of the standardized template. So, this is really engaging when we see that, learning and in technology can change, young people and then change how they learn. So I hope to end with a positive note that educators began to regulate learning areas incorporating new technology concepts, and this is very encouraging. And I think that our students, they are ready to build a future. And hopefully, our service providers, vendors, and partners will be collaborating as always to promote this innovative atmosphere, equip our younger ones and invite them into our industries, pass on, and very soon, this will be their new city, both in physical one and in the virtual ones. So thank you very much for all of your patience and enjoying this talk. Thank you.
Thank you, Amy, for showing us how AR and VR transform learning in classroom. So let us enter the next section and invite our moderator, Ms. Ivy Shum, President of Hong Kong Association for AR VR, to host the panel discussion with our speakers. Do explore some fantastic case and dive deep topic, memorable user experience, AR VR in the apps. So it is welcome if you have any questions to our speakers, please feel free to drop us a message in the chat room. So I'll pass the time to Ivy right now.
Thank you for all speakers and great afternoon that we all learned. Let's us to do some interactive, like what Amy wants us to do a little bit more. Can we do a chat box? On the chat box, we type like 888 as a clap sound for our speakers of tonight to this afternoon, so we can reward them to oh, the chat is disabled. Okay, so well, I think we will feel that you are clapping for all the speakers. For me, I represent all the participants and do the staff to do the claps right here. So thank you for all the speakers, and if Stephen can join us for the panel, that would be great. And oh, great, here you go. So I want to do a little bit introduction of our association. I love the way that we have a lot of solutions, use case that can share with the public. And for us, we want to build a community, and for gathering the service, the VR AR providers, service providers, and organize all kind of workshops and events that can deliver training or experience the AR VR technology together, and more industry can use the technology, so we can have a new normal, new world together. And hopefully we can collaborate a lot more after today. Looking forward to meeting you all, well, virtually or physically. We all in at some point we can connect each other. So from the speakers that just introduced us is we understand that the technology is from the internet, from the Web 2.0, Web 3.0, NFT, all kinds of technology, and everyone, the speakers can already show us their use case with their knowledge in the VR AR, and I believe people will ask like, what next? What can any specific things that they can do in order to help them to move forward with the technology. So I would like to ask each speakers with some questions. So maybe can I start with Stephen first?
Yes, sure.
Great. So for your solution, mostly providing for the manufacturer maintenance in automobile that sector, can you share with us like what kind of information that the manufacturer should be prepared so they can apply your AR technology?
Mhm. So, well, based on our experience, I always, whenever we meet a prospect, we always, the only single information that we need most is the challenges that they're facing, the problem that they're facing. I mean, this sounds easy, this sounds, it's totally logical, but actually it's very hard for you to figure out what exactly they are, the pain point they're facing, like sometimes they don't even know there's an issue there, all right? But at a certain point, you will hear, you will start hearing that, and they will start sharing information like, oh yes, actually we are using paper trailers. We've been doing that. And then you start observing, you see that they use WeChat, for example, for internal communication. And then if you dive deeper, you know that, oh, this is totally a problem for them in terms of the communication and how they handle the data. And they don't even know that there are some new concepts, new solutions out there, such as smart data, CMMS, ERP solution. They have no idea at all about that. So once you know that, we have the most important information, which is the problem they're facing, and then we can start gathering and things like, can you provide what kind of checklist, for example, what kind of data? Like, can you show me how you work, to make it simple, how you work every day, how your people work every day? And once you work with them, you will see all kinds of information that you can gather, like checklists, like machine information, user manual, repairing guides, all kind of thing. And this is all the data that we can digitalize and put it in AI and mix reality.
I see. Great. Yeah. What about the production lead time? Is it quite long, or any challenges when you talk with the manufacturers?
Yeah, I mean, in the old days, like if you remember our very first solution, ARPM, which phone that worked for you guys, we have to do the digital. We have to build a digital machine manually. I mean, I'll put it that way, manually. So we're using surveying approach, using like a laser pointer, you get a coordinate, and then try to rebuild the whole building with our own hand to get the precise scale across every corridor, every room, every single corner, every single location of the machine. It took us at least maybe 2 or 3 weeks just to get one building done. But now we have the LiDAR technology on every iPhone and iPad Pro. It only takes maybe 15 minutes, less than that. I mean, and then I can gather the digital twin information, like the meeting room around me, this whole sharing, office space, and you will start seeing AR information right here, right, like maybe at the TV right there, the text there, and so on. So we really, this is how the technology evolved. I will put it that way. 3 years ago, 3 or 4 weeks, now 15 minutes. So which is impressive, in my opinion.
Wow, I looking for in seconds, like not really minutes. We can, like 5 seconds, we can scan the whole room. Then we can put some educational AR contents in the space through your app.
Yes.
That would be interesting. Thank you. Can I ask some question for Yuan? For you focus on the digital transform and data for the warehouse or storage sector, right? What kind of your thoughts on moving from the headset to mobile? What do you think, like what next? Is there any challenges on the equipment? Is it like because you need a lot of equipments for the what do you think if they use like mobile experience, is it too heavy on the mobile for the warehouse?
Right. Okay. Thanks for the question. For equipment, I think it boils down to the use case the user is looking at. right? So some of the use cases would make sense to be done in a VR headset. For example, maybe it's let's say safety training. You want to train the users how to operate some of those machines in some environment which comes with safety hazard. So in that case, you probably would still prefer to have a VR setup, and both hands of the users can be free to conduct the necessary tasks. For the kind of spatial digital twin solutions we're looking at, one thing we'll probably bear in mind is the users are not so, sometimes the users are not so tech savvy, and they need something that they are familiar with. So a kind of interface on, let's say, a laptop or PC, or a kind of interface that runs on tablets or phones is something that is very easy for them to pick up. There's not much learning curve for them to go through, right? So in that case, of course, the users can choose, but the kind of tendency we see is if it's a device that is something that they're already familiar with, then it's easier to be deployed, and also easier for the users to scale within their organizations. Now, regarding the question whether this is too heavy or not, I think it's not, because you can always architect the solution in a way that it can be deployed to different type of devices. So for us, that is not really a consideration when it comes to the solutioning.
I see. Great. So we can all using different devices and using the same technology. That's what do you think, like the future like after this, what else that we can think of, although we maybe we can collaborate, I mean, the thoughts, but for you, for your own opinions, what would be the future for you?
Short term speaking, I think we are looking more at the different kind of software, the digital infrastructure level of collaborations. So in a sense, AR, VR, MR is part of it, but aside from that, there are, like, sensors, those are cloud computing infrastructure. So those are I think the most immediate kind of future that the ecosystem can look into. Long term speaking, if you're talking about the hardware, there are, of course, companies developing projection technologies. There are companies who are working on those contact lenses, very small, which you can put in your eyes, right? And then there are also companies that the technology of brain machine interfaces is something that people may not be able to immediately associate it with VR, AR, but in the future, who knows if this is a technology that becomes popular, that it may be the next stage of AR and VR. But I think generally speaking, for the hardware development, it would require a lot of effort in R&D, and also a lot of effort in terms of the regulation perspective, which actually is a collaboration between the public and private sector at the end of the day. For us, I think the most important thing is to focus on what we are working on at this point in time, that is the solution aspect of things, and then meanwhile keeping an eye on what's coming up as emerging tech.
I see. Thank you. Or maybe like what our audience just mentioned before, in the chat rooms, like we can build a meta universe, like the movie Ready Player One. We can use it more practical on the warehouse, or the education, the manufacturings, and maybe like go to the retails, the merchants, like using the. So yeah, will CSL can have this thoughts of like Ready Player One type of solutions?
We are open up for any new idea. Like we do think about whether our AR can be one of the tiny little steps into this direction. Of course, we also internally look at Web 3.0, whether from online to more 3D spatial computing, AR or edge computing can really bring speed up the metaverse ready. Today, we trial a lot of things, like people do a lot of gaming exercise on, for example, like the Alpha Season 2 on Sandbox, the Decentraland or Box. Perhaps it's pretty focused on the PC platform. We actually eye on whether can start to look at opportunity on the mobile, on the go. So this is direction we're looking at. But for sure, AR or VR, anyway, will from time to time, some point will merge together into these things. Secondly is the hardware side or the infrastructure side. Perhaps I would say today from 4G migrate 1-2 years to nowadays 5G. In few months' time, more mobile device getting ready for standalone approach, making the latency is more performing, so that this kind of new innovative experience can more ready to deploy to, I mean, in the consumer sector. Gradually move from not only in enterprise side, but more mass appeal to a bigger audience. That we embrace this opportunity.
Great. So everything is possible as long as we all come together and do the collaboration. Huh?
And at one point is, I feel at one point is when people a hot topic talking about metaverse, imagine we also need to spend some time from changing the mindset with a bigger audience to embrace from centralized kind of way of working to towards more embrace the blockchain, decentralized environment, a future internet. So this is also another regard that we need to work on together, to be very honest. Yeah. The mind shifting, yeah. What I mean, yeah.
Yeah, for the mind shifting, I think you did a great job on. I mean, a lot of like 400 plus brand using the lens right now, right? So for more merchants, like right now you show us more on the retail side. That a lot of industry that can do the same. Like I probably mentioned you before. Like I'm on the set of the furniture, building materials, property that side. We can collaborate some more on that, and potentially there's other verticals of industry they can do as well. So what do you think that the merchants, for example, just the merchant side, what do they should be prepared, or how to apply the AR lens? Do they need more resources on the programming, or you can help them merge and have service provider to build the AR experience?
Basically, in general speaking, because our lenses come with two parts. Basically, if you want simply deliver your offer to a target audience, just no programming technique is needed from the merchant. They just simply pass me, a brand logo or a kind of .ai image. We work for them as a turnkey. But together with those few hundred clients we work so far with them, we offer them a piece of link with the measure management system. Remember, we talk about there are 3 attributes. From the merchant, give us a simple image, give us an attractive offer. That is most important. And then for the location base, for the time sensitive, how to manage the technical stuff. We have all this candid solution as a turnkey for them, hassle-free. So this is one thing. The second part is talking about the image tracking. Remember about the euphoria part, like the mirror we showcase with our first merchant is our sales CSL. That part is rather even more easy, like the year-end ceremony for the music award presentation. That is, the client is actually use a piece of iPhone, capture a 1-minute video, pass it to us, and then we upload on the lens. So the people capture from outdoor for the giant billboard can easily showcase the AR effect. So it's just a piece of iPhone, capture a video, and then pass to us. Is that simple?
Yes. So we like, for Steven said it before 3 years ago, it's like in weeks to talk with the merchants, and now it's 15 minutes. And for simple character or simple object, 3D objects, apply the lens, is only few seconds. So we just mentioned that it's really fast that we can deliver, and then we can be creative, and we probably can educate through Amy, we can teach the next generations to do even more, like more than we thought. They can help the society or the industry or different industry with new mind, creative. So yeah, Amy, can I ask you what other ways that do you consider VR AR can benefit yeah, our next generation, the students, right, in the future?
I think actually everybody should know AR and VR as part of their life, part of their growth.
Mm-hmm.
It's part of their environment. So it is something not what, it's just, as the day starts, it is like embedded in their knowledge. Like, every kid knows what is iPhone, what is things like that. I think, hopefully, the education curriculum, all these things help us to provide more opportunities for young people to learn about IT, not only like VR and AR, coding, computational thinking, and then we have opportunities for them to learn at that stage, and then growing into their expertise area and into the industries. I think that is something that look forward to, and start from young age, and then get them the atmosphere. The educators, the leaders will buy into that, change the mindset. Some speakers talk about changing the mindset. I think that is very important. The kids can have the change of mindset very easily, but adults a little bit, more challenging. So we all have to change together, because, the world is changing so fast, even you and I cannot imagine, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so like right now for teacher themselves, what I know is they use all the, I mean, they have been educate the students through, like, well, for old times, like the projector, the PowerPoint, so they have the content in photos, in tests. So right now we turn that to 3D and immersive experience for learning. What do you think about the whole academic system? Can like, is it larger size? Is well, right now you do it by schools, right? So is there like the whole, well, school chain, or like a group of schools can do something together? Is that possible?
Let me answer your question in two different perspectives. One is you are talking about the two schools, when we are talking about as to be, in Hong Kong, doing to be in education is not an easy job. But we do have 2G deployment in some of our countries, when the country deploys the learning or whatever policies. And but in Hong Kong, we all know that it is school-based. So yes, I think, when it is to be, then it is like it concerns about the education policy, the curriculum and things like that. If it is 2G, probably our pathways will be easier. And of course, it's to B and then to C, right? And then, of course, it is a scalable project as well. We all expect that, the kids, they learn AR and VR, apply into their learning areas, and then they can, have it for fun. They can self-own it, and they create something, which is very exciting. And the kids nowadays, they talk about not only, these other games, but the games they created, and they can interflow about this, one another. And the other thing is about the classroom. I think, nowadays the classroom, for me, it is not a classroom. I think going to Yuan's spatial zoo is a classroom. Going to M+ is a classroom, right? This virtual learning space is a classroom. So the classroom has actually no bounds, I think. And in that case, we should allow the children to be free from these boundaries, and to think out of the box, and to create all these applications, VR, AR, mix, MR, DR, all these things, integrated together. And I'm sure they are going to create something that is beyond what we can think about. But give them the space, give them this opportunity, and of course, I think, we are creating the workplace, the positions, for them to go into the industry. I talk to a lot of college students too, they are now aware of going into this industry and what is going to happen, and then they are pretty interested in it. And I think that is a good trend, get them excited, and they can do something, to that, and they feel satisfied. So I'm not sure if I've answered your question, but there's some of my feedbacks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's good starting point maybe for like right now we do like school field trip, but we all going virtually. We can go Singapore and visit Yang Yi, and then for different warehouse and different well dance with mirror in a way, and then we can just mix and match what I like Yang Yi mentioned earlier, like technology times people times process, and in a ecosystem thinking way, so we can create something new, and all generation can share their experience, their thoughts, and just have a mix using the technology. I think that, what do you guys think? That's the trend, right?
Yeah, I think actually VR has brought the students to the back to the previous times, history, and then to the space, to the new future. So this is something nobody has thought about this 10 years ago, I guess, or maybe 12, 15 years ago. So what is next is going to be even more exciting. Is past, present, future all integrated together, with these new devices, with the network infrastructure, and with all these applications, and of course our innovations. So I think we should continue with these kind of forums, right?
Yeah, so no time zone, no present, past, present, and future. Well, we can create the future like the Ready Player One. We create the future in the present, and then go with our past when we were young. Well, we can create ourselves in a younger age. So everything is possible. But we need to collaborate, and like you said, we need to talk more. So well, we are coming to the end, but I do want to invite each of you maybe share 1 to 2 tips, takeaway, or any recommendation that for the audience. We still have like 50 people here, so can you give us more things to put in our pocket? Maybe Amy or anyone?
Maybe I start first.
Okay, great.
I think no matter the problem is big or small, we just don't hesitate to step out, because we truly believe today, even we talk about a lot of AR, VR technology anyway can help to improve people's lives. So just reaching out, no matter it's to you guys, to us, we should have a way out. Like today, when we approach a lot of different merchants, different clients, because of the COVID, urge them to do a lot of transformation, even though they don't expect to do that so soon. But seems that now people is willing to make changes, just reaching out, no matter it's big or small problem. Yeah, hold up the technology. Yeah, this is my 2 cents of thought. Yeah. Thank you.
Maybe Stephen, do you have any thoughts you can share with us?
Yeah, I would also suggest, embrace every opportunities that lock your doors. I mean, don't be afraid of something new or someone that you've never met before and then trying to sell you something. But, if that guy is actually listening to you, trying to understand what kind of challenges you might be facing, or he has an idea how to make things work better. Try to be open, I think, and open mind, and just try to use it. In most cases, try to use it, try to spend a day, go through, walk through with the software, with us, with the people, and and see what happens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we can help as association. We can help accelerate that. We can create some events, and also WTIA and Hong Kong PC. We can all do together. What about Yan Yi?
Sure. I think the previous speakers, Daniel and Stephen, they have made a pretty good comment. The things I do reckon what they have mentioned, like in terms of people and processes, the problem, eyes on the user-centric kind of problem solving, and stay open-minded to look for the solutions. The world is full of global issues. In the past today, so there's like more than enough problems for entrepreneurs to try to address. So finding purpose in that is important, and it's always about collaboration. And I think in this era where things are changing quite rapidly, technology is evolving quite rapidly, we need to look into the cross-disciplinary collaboration as well. That means it's not just software engineers with software engineers. In AR, VR, we also have like designers involved. And then when you think of deploying solutions for education, you need educator, Amy's team. They would then bring in necessary expertise in that area. So it's really about looking for I think from our perspective, it's about looking for the people with the right mindset. We can all contribute the knowledge from different backgrounds, and then collectively we put up something.
Great. Is Amy can share with me a little bit more, like any
sure.
tips? Mm-hmm.
Sure. I think technology is also about solving people's problems, and so offer a solution, for if we can offer a solution to help the problem, I think that is why we are here. So this is one thing I think is very essential. The other thing is that because we are using a very new technology, a new way to offer a solution, so we may fail. And if we fail fast and fail forward, not afraid of failing, but, we learn from the failure and the experiences and we move forward again. I think that is also very important. And the third thing is that I think, as Yuan Yi said, collaborations is very important. Learn from one another, wherever their background is, they must have something to learn to contribute to that solution. So, collaborations, from the industries, from partners, from the users, from overseas, now it makes it very easy. So I would say these three things, offer solutions that can help our users fail fast and fail forward, collaborate and learn from one another. Thank you.
Great. I will do the clap right now for thank you all the speakers sharing and all the inputs that you provided us. So we keep learning, we keep on collaborating, partner each other using our own strength in technology, and then do something fun, be creative. Like for me, I'm using the avatar to to enter this webinar. I don't think much people are doing that, but so I thank you for all of you and hope we can keep in touch. And also the participants who join us this afternoon, feel free to reach us. We provide our contact information before, or contact WTIA. We would love to connect with all of you. So thank you, and have a good health and keep in touch. I will have the spotlight to WTIA, Kali.
Thank you, Ivy. So now, before we draw an end to our workshop, I would like to express our appreciation to our speakers for their time and expertise. And there will be another Asia Smart App workshop on the topic of UI/UX design in late May. So if you are interested to join the workshop, you can scan the QR code and join our workshop next month. So finally, may we ask your involvement on filling the questionnaire as a feedback on how did we do and suggest how we could improve. Have a great evening. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.